Radio in motion. Program loading in 3, 2, 1. Program activated.
Attention everyone, the unpleasant noise you are about to hear coming from your radio is not a mistake.
Okay, first things first, what is your name?
This is Big Sonny playing the best of the 90s and beyond.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Radio in motion.
Please do not turn off your radio, but turn up the volume on your receiver as high as it can go.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Radio in motion.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining me tonight on Radio Motion. We've got our Gravel and Grunge show going tonight, all the best grunge from the 90s. But first up, we're going to have another episode of The Ugly Truth. Remember, the truth is ugly, but it can certainly set you free. So I can't help myself. I have to get stuck into everything happening in America at the moment. And let me preface this by saying, again, everyone has their own opinion, and I always want to inflame your passion to always find out the truth. If you don't want to find out, if you don't like this sort of stuff, that's fine too. There's plenty to do in life. I guess it's just at the moment it seems like there's so many things that are just cascading and falling into place or falling out of place, and they, whether you like it or not, they will end up having a ripple effect and affecting your life one way or the other. And again, when I talk about things, I might talk about Biden, I might talk about Trump, I might talk about the White House, I might talk about. It doesn't mean that I'm taking a side. I swear, these days you can't say something positive about Trump. Oh, you're a Trumper. Oh my God, you're delusional. I might say something truthful and positive about anyone, as long as it's a fact. That's all I'm ever after, is the facts. And when the facts don't add up, everyone has that natural ability to sense that something's wrong. I think we've all lost that. We have a natural sixth sense. We have, a natural sort of premonition about situations. And that's why the other thing that really annoys me is the phrase of conspiracy theory. Frankly, and you can look this up, that phrase didn't really exist. It's something really from the CIA from the late 60s. They loved to coin that phrase whenever someone questioned something because the facts didn't add up and they wanted to investigate further. Comes the phrase conspiracy theory. Well, what can I say? I think the difference between the truth and a conspiracy theory is usually about 3 months. I'm just saying, there have been so many things, especially during COVID, that people lost friends and family over. They were divided so much, not just politically, but about COVID or about medical things, and politics getting mixed up with medical and health, which is quite sad, and people just having a simple question. And then when actual facts came out, people would still deny it, even when these facts came from doctors. Again, I'm not getting into that, but it's just so sad that people just can't have a good old chat these days. And that's one of my favorite things, and that's why I do this. Use your brain. Think. Don't be a puppet. Like I say, don't just go with what anyone says. Don't go with what I say. Look it up yourself. So, on to the circus in America. Like I always say, one of the best sayings from Roman times: give them bread and circuses, and the people will want for nothing. And all that's about is distraction. So like I say, no matter what side of the pond, left or right, Democrat, Republican, whatever, liberal, whatever you want to call yourself, align yourself, do or don't. Frankly, I like to just have a natural Zen balance right in the middle. But the point is it's all a distraction. There are real things, there are real lives, friends and family and personal relationships, people trying to make a living and help each other. This is real. Why do I talk about these things? Because these things, sadly, all these nuts at the top, the decisions they make affect your life, and they don't even represent you. They're supposed to. Isn't that the funny thing? Politicians in general are supposed to speak for the people, but frankly, I think that's been lost a long time ago. So, again, it's like watching The Matrix. I think we're stuck in The Matrix, folks. I can't figure out what's real or fake these days. Obviously, first there was the assassination attempt on Trump. Immediately, everyone became divided over that. I was talking to my family, a couple of my family members. They immediately stuck with one narrative, and I just didn't even want to get into it because they were completely sold on it without even a conversation. I'll talk about that in a minute. But now the funny part, obviously, Kamala Harris is now joining in to run, and Biden has dropped out. Now, there's a few things there that I think are again, a bit strange, a bit sudden. And now here's the other thing. So now that Biden's dropped out, and this is why I'm sorry I can't stand mainstream media, because they only go wherever the wind takes their advertising and money dollars, as in they are just representatives of the government, and they in no way report actual news. They're just infotainment folks, because the fact is they just go wherever they're told to go. And right now they're on the Kamala train, baby. And for years they told us that Biden is like a lion. There's nothing wrong with his cognitive ability. He's fine. He can make it. He's going to run. And then once that debate came and everyone saw his obvious decline, his obvious early onset dementia, they started to turn on him. Isn't that sad? And the thing is now they're saying, well, now that Biden's out, now Trump's too old. Oh, right. So Biden wasn't. He was fine, even though on the world stage he visibly was proven to be, not mentally fit for the role. Now Trump is too old? What hypocrites, really? So look, right now we're in the honeymoon phase of Kamala Harris, and I do want to say, again, these are all red flags if you want to use the phrase conspiracy theory, but the thing is I think right now the current political scene in America, especially in the White House, it's just a swamp. It's a swamp. Everyone's in on it, no matter what side, Republican, Democrat. They're all in on just trying to get whatever they can get from it. It's all just a swamp, a murky swamp with no one has any morals. So in this swamp, the current new puppet will be Kamala Harris. And again, the media is immediately in love with her. They're behind her. And the thing that I didn't like is you do know in America, there is meant to be a convention for that party, the Democratic Party. The Republican Party had theirs officially announcing Trump. The funny thing about Kamala Harris is Biden immediately announced that she's it. Here she is. She's the one. She's going to go on and she's going to run. That felt more like a coronation than a convention, because that's not how it works. Within that party, they're supposed to decide if that's their choice. She's not being anointed the queen, so that already doesn't feel right, and just shows you how the machine just wants to do what it wants to do. Biden was their way to keep power, and they hid him away for years. They hid him away literally. And when he did come out, I mean, they probably had to pump him up with all kinds of drugs to get his arms to move. But that debate night, obviously there wasn't enough a stimulant in the world to keep him awake, because he showed the world that he was not mentally fit. So that's the thing. Now they've immediately gotten behind Kamala Harris. And the funny thing is my family, I can say my mom's definitely immediately on board. Bill Clinton's on board. Thank God. So glad Bill and Hillary are behind her, because Bill Clinton, he's a credible dude. The womanizing, just a horrible man who used the Oval Office as a brothel. But it's funny how he's revered as a good man now, and he was in no way a good person. I mean, he would be a misogynist jerk if you were to ask most women. But you have to get behind Clinton, because he's part of the machine. And I think it's sad now, actually, that I feel like they threw Biden to the wolves. That's what I feel. They pushed it as long as they could until they couldn't hide it anymore, and then they were painted into a corner, folks. As simple as that. When everyone finally saw there was no denying it, which again, this is a long time coming, they threw him to the wolves. I think they let him do that debate to just see how it went. And of course, Obama, he's another one. He's in the background pulling the strings. I think once he decided he had had enough, he pretty much probably made that decision and pulled the plug on Biden, and then it became the Kamala Harris camp. So it's also sad of the media. The media, again, they're just shills. They protected him, the bubble of protection around Biden, and they immediately turned on him too. But now, see, they just go wherever the wind takes them. Now, they're also saying, oh, he's a hero for bowing out. He's a patriot. So they went from, I don't know, maybe he should bow out and do the right thing because he ain't going to make it, even though literally only a week before they were saying he is a lion, the mental strength of a lion. And now they're going back to he's a lion. He only quit to bring in the Queen Kamala, Queen Kamala. So that's just ridiculous. Saying he's a hero. One of them said selfless devotion. Really? The man who spent most of his political career finding a way to just get richer and get his family rich off off his political power. That doesn't make sense. Talking about, so my mom immediately sends me a message saying, "Oh, finally a woman president." I'm like, okay, here we go. So. Again, I don't care who you are as long as you have the merit to do the job. I don't think it's right. I don't think DEI hiring should go all the way up to the White House. If you have the experience and based on merit and suitability for the role, no matter what it is, you should get it. I want the best airline pilot. I want the best doctor. When the doctor comes in the room, I don't go, wait a minute, have they checked all the boxes? Oh, this is the most brilliant doctor ever. I haven't seen them yet. This is the number one surgeon to fix your heart. This doctor there are none above 100% success rate of successful heart surgery for your condition. This is the doctor for you. No, I don't care. None of that matters. Have they checked the right boxes? What's their religion? What's their skin color? What's their gender? It's ridiculous, and it makes no sense. And it's sad when you see that it reaches all the way up to the White House. And again, I'm not, has nothing to do with her being a woman. I think there are some amazing women out there who actually should be running for president. Tulsi Gabbard, Candace Owens. These are smart, brilliant women. Candace Owens being a very strong and intelligent African American woman. I think she would be amazing. She's an intelligent woman. My point is this is about box ticking, and it's terrible. It is terrible that it's reached all the way up to such a high power. There was an article I was seeing online, The Atlantic, and this was only a year ago, about Kamala Harris. Literally, the title of the piece was The Kamala Harris Problem. Because again, as vice president, I'm sorry, she has proven to just be terrible. Just rhetorical blunders, high staff turnover rate. Apparently her staff can't stand her. So many political missteps. Again, so why would she be a good candidate? Because she ticks a box? That's terrible. So instead of ignoring the president, they'll just hate the president. I'm sorry, that's a fact. Her ratings are just in the gutter. And yeah, they were saying, Biden is selfless. Again, this is a man who just, for decades put his ambition before principle every time, and literally enriched himself. Literally enriched. When you go into politics with nothing, you think, well, that's good for them. He's successful. No. A politician, again, technically, again, they are a civil servant. If you want to make big bucks, you should go to Wall Street. You need to be Elon Musk. That's where you become a billionaire. If you become a multimillionaire, almost billionaire, while having a political career, I'm sorry, you used your political influence to get richer. There's no doubt about it. And again, you can look that up yourself, but his whole family is just completely corrupt. And again, a very mediocre presidency. So, again, I do think it's sad that they threw him under the bus. And the funny thing is I think they're going to have to be held accountable for which lie they want to, which hill they want to die on. For all those years, they said that his mental acuity was top notch, and he's going to run again. But then when everyone saw on the world stage that he did not have, it was an obvious cognitive decline, and now they're saying, oh well, he's a hero for stepping aside. And yeah, I think you should step aside because it's obvious. So which is it? So had he kept going, were you going to keep the lie going? And now you've immediately switched to Kamala Harris. So again, that doesn't make sense. And again, everyone who surrounded him was complicit in that. And that includes Kamala Harris, because they all knew behind the scenes on a day-to-day basis. Even his wife, Jill, how terrible is that, to want to keep power at any cost, to push your husband into the limelight when he's obviously not up for the task, and he has to go to bed before 8 because it's sleepy time and he can't make it. That's elder abuse, and that's really quite despicable. So again, like I say, make your own decision. I just think a lot of these things seem to be engineered and they're being pushed in a certain direction, and I don't think that's very democratic. Again, Joe Biden dropping out. You know what that is? That's sort of sad. That's not very democratic. That just means he quit. He gave up. And I think this is what it really is, the fact that it was obvious he wasn't going to quit. He was pressured to quit. And doesn't that make you, again, kind of feel bad for him a little bit? I'm sure somewhere behind the scenes, someone like Obama and all the machine behind him said, look, dude, this ain't going to happen. One way or the other, this ain't going to happen. I don't know if it was a mild threat or just sliding that in there, that one way or the other, you're not going to continue. So it's like, which pill do you want to take? Or do you option A or option B? The easy way or the hard way? I hate to say what the hard way was. They probably said, look, we'll give you a library, we'll give you a huge parachute, millions of dollars. You can go around and you can go on the the college scene and do talks, or you can just go to your library that we will name after you and go and wander around and get lost in it. Either way, somebody had that chat with him, because it went from I'm going to fight to the end even though I'm losing my mind to I'm out. Here she is. Here's the queen for the day. That just seems fishy, folks. So again, whatever you think. Another thing one of my family members immediately said was, Trump, I can't believe he faked that. So fake. Unbelievable that he faked that assassination attempt. I mean, the ball's on him. And again, I'm always open to discussion. I'm always open to what is possible. But the funny thing is here's the thing. The current White House has all the power for investigation, and they have been prosecuting and investigating Trump to no end. They have been bringing down the hammer on him and investigating everything. But when it comes to an assassination attempt, seems to have gone real quiet. First of all, it was a total failure on the Secret Service. They're not really looking into that. And as far as the event itself, the shooter himself, it's all gone really quiet. If they had even an inkling that it was some sort of Hollywood charade, I am sure they would investigate the hell out of it, and it'd be all over the news in every way, shape, or form. But it's not, because it really happened, and frankly, Trump just took advantage of that moment, and that's why everyone, is that iconic picture faked. It was forced because it was Trump. I don't think anyone else would have done it. I think anyone else would have left. He stopped for that moment and took a photo op. I can also say that wouldn't have happened had the Secret Service done their job. That's actually an embarrassment. So it's a great picture. It's going to be a statue one day, I'm pretty sure. It'll be a statue, pumping fists, American flag behind him. But for the bodyguard union or anyone in the bodyguard service industry, that picture is an embarrassment, because he was standing up, his whole torso standing up with, and again, I'm sorry to say, one of the Secret Service, too tiny to cover him. Again, if you're not suitable for the role, the job description shouldn't just be about what boxes you tick. So I'm just saying you should be suitable to fulfill the role that you've been hired for. And if all you can do is grab the president's legs and hold his legs, they're probably not aiming for his legs. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're probably aiming for the head of the heart. So that, again, that picture from that point of view was actually a fail. Had the Secret Service done their job, Trump wouldn't have had a moment to take advantage of that photo op. It's a great photo, but frankly, they should have immediately brought him down. And as you've seen, look up any footage from the past, from the Reagan shooting. They were on that like duck on a June bug. And he should be carted off into the bulletproof car and immediately taken away. That would be the protocol. So that photo op wouldn't have happened, first of all. So was that part faked? I will say it was forced because Trump said, "Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes." It's kind of funny now, but it's kind of not. The Secret Service should have said, damn the shoes, Mr. President. We're going to go ahead and save your life. Stay down, stay low. Let's get to the car. Shut up now. Let's get to the car. So that's my point. The photo was great. That part was probably an opportunistic moment, and he took it. But he shouldn't have had the time to take it. Okay, let's be honest. Was it faked? I'll leave that for history to decide, and it probably won't decide it right. But again, it's funny how some people make up their mind, and they immediately get on one side of it, and you can't persuade them for anything else. That's kind of sad. Don't be like that, okay? That's all I ever want to say. Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind and an open heart. Again, I wish we were more understanding of other humans these days. So, if you want to say what side of the political aisle am I on? I'm not on either side. I'm on the side that thinks about the human. I think we should be. I'm on the side of humanity, and I think a lot of days, I'm sorry to say, politicians and globalists aren't. When they talk about saving the environment, most of the time they're really just thinking about how they can make money, and the people are secondary or third or last on their mind. I'll be honest. And that's the problem. I'm not necessarily anti-government. I'm just anti-people who are anti-human, and there's a lot of them out there. So I say, as always, I end it with saying, be kind to each other. Do unto others as you've had done unto you, you would have done unto you. It's a pretty simple statement, whether you think it's religious or not, whether you immediately associate Jesus or Buddha or whoever you want, whatever works for you, as long as it's about thinking about others and putting others first. And I tell you, on another note, I feel like we don't live in that world right now. I feel like everything is about self and pride and narcissism, and not pride in the way you think. I think we're more about pride in the way of, it's all about me. I don't need anyone else. I am everything. And I think that's sad. That's how we miss out on generations and respecting your elders and family and learning from especially from grandmothers and grandmothers, learning from their mistakes, learning from their wisdom. I don't think we live in that society anymore. So all we have is watching the news and waiting for what the government does next and hoping it's a good thing. So that's where I'm at. I'm on the human side. All right, folks, that's all for me tonight on The Ugly Truth. Again, always have a think about it and make your own choice. All right. More great songs on our Gravel and Grunge up next after a word from our sponsors.